The photograph that I've put together for this burn is me naked on the bed, exposing what I call my obstruction, which is my marred skin because of psoriasis. It sort of deals with a set of emotions that are all about being scarred. I guess I've never been able to explain my work properly. And I think maybe I don't ever really want to be able to explain my work properly, because it's not up to me to tell you what to look for in the photograph. So I'm just going to stop trying to explain what that's all about. The image is the image. And it's yours to judge and love or hate or be bothered by or to not give a shit about. Good morning, everyone. It's burn day. Just getting some last minute things ready. I had to take Charlie over to hang out with my parents for a bit because there'll be too many people. I'll just be in and out of the house too much, and she goes a little bad shit. Hey, Charlie. Hey, you go a little crazy, don't you? Just a little crazy. Anyway, I did a last minute check this morning just to make sure that there aren't any funerals happening at the cemetery that we're going to. And it looks good. It looks like we're gonna be in the clear. Okay, Charlie. So yeah, fingers crossed that it remains that way. Just nailing a rag to the back of this piece so that I dictate the burn pattern, because I wouldn't want it to burn the main portion of the image before we actually get the flame. So in this particular image, I think the main action's happening here. And so I want it to come up the right side if you're facing it so that we get a nice sort of raging burn up the side. That is gonna be how we control and dictate where it ends up. I might decide to like really encourage it and do another strip up here, but for now this makes me happy, so we'll leave it at that and pack this thing up and start packing the truck up. Water. If you want to just hang on to that and I'll jump up with you.
Jump?
Just table this bitch. I think that's it. Is that it? I gotta do a dummy check. Piece, easel, diesel, drill kit, rags, paper towel, Windex, water, buckets, ratchet straps, camera and gear, blowtorch. Okay, now we just need to do some diesel. Today we're pouring the self-portrait. I've got my hardener, my resin. The hardener always goes in first. The resin that I used to use in the past was terribly toxic. So I got into the practice of wearing a gas mask just to prevent any damage. So I'm gonna continue that practice and wear a gas mask today.
This is so much fun. I haven't done this in forever. I'm super pumped to be doing this. Look at that. The thing of beauty. So you just want to stir it gently. We don't want to like whisk it and create air bubbles.
This actually doesn't smell bad. This might actually be non-toxic. I mean, it must be, because that's what they have written all over the jugs. I'm gonna let this off gas until it solidifies. Yeah, there it is. This truck is a thing of beauty. It's actually a dumper truck, so you can actually use the dump truck portion of it. That just brings out the kid in you. My good friend Bob owns this truck, and he's got a line paving company, so he lets me borrow this to do this kind of stuff. And he gets a kick out of it. He thinks it's great fun. Helping me out today, I've got Sir Paul Rosen on camera, doing a killer job as always. And he's brought Brian Hamilton. He's gonna be doing sort of a jerry-rigged GoPro jib, from what I understand. I'm very excited to see how it looks. My buddy Joe Carter is our drone operator. He's providing all the fantastic drone footage. The scouting process for this particular burn was very dependent on the story that I wanted to tell. Yeah, nice job, Charlie. Here, come here. There's nothing in there. It's gone. You ate it all. Okay. My first thought was to do the burn in front of my old high school, but that's the school, and there's nothing aesthetically pleasing about it. Niagara Peninsula Conservation Area. So that makes setting things on fire a little tricky. You don't really realize how ugly schools are until you need a beautiful school. I thought that this cemetery was inactive. We're going to have to be clever about this. And the last thing we want to be doing is disrespecting the dead. That's definitely not what I want to do. So this actually might be a little trickier than I had anticipated. I think that if you're doing something right in creating art, it should make you feel nervous. It should make you feel excited. So my gut instinct tells me I'm on the right path. We use diesel instead of gas because the diesel actually burns slower. It's got more oil in it, so you get a much better burn. Oh. Let's pretend that didn't happen. That should be enough diesel for several burns. All right, I'm just gonna go pay. So once I decided on the location for the story, then I knew I needed a cemetery. And then it was a matter of finding the right cemetery. And this one won because, in fact, it's very old, and I thought, as I've said a million times, that it was inactive. It's not inactive. But right now, I have no idea how I actually feel. It's just sort of like there's a checklist of things that needs to be accomplished, and I think up until we actually see the flames and the art starts to happen, I don't know that I'll actually feel excited. I don't like this white. I don't want white color in the photo. So what I'm going to do instead of sanding it down is I'm going to kind of cheat and just run it through the table saw and get rid of all of this white paint. So here's what we ended up with. And then this is just some threaded rod that I use. And then this spreads apart. Boom. And then we have this cross brace here, which I then screw on to the front too, and that's what holds the piece up. Usually there's not much left of the easel after the burn, for obvious reasons. Threaded rod, you can see, has been a part of previous burns. It's even got a bit of a bend to it. I 100% want to do a coat of tung oil, which will just sort of, it'll bring out the natural grain of the wood and make it a little bit darker, which I think will just match the frame a lot better. It's exactly what I was hoping for, so I would call that easel done. The very first burn I did was the most terrifying to date because I was on a frozen Lake Erie and I was by myself and I did not know what to expect. And the piece burnt right through and collapsed. It was terrifying, but also extremely gratifying because it was that moment when I realized I was onto something that was special. We're just cutting through the cemetery right now, both to turn the truck around, but more importantly, just to make 100% sure that there isn't about to be a funeral here. Because as I said, I don't want to disrespect this place.
Usually they got that thing laid out.
That's what I'm looking for, yeah, the mountain dirt with the green astroturf over it. I think we're good. It looks pretty clear. I think I need to just slam that portrait right in and under that sign, because I think that's going to be the best shot. I didn't want to get right onto the property, but we're going to risk it and beg forgiveness later. Oh my God. We forgot the pin for the fucking easel. Oh, that sucks.
What specifically you're talking about?
Okay, so this is the easel. I have a piece of threaded rod that connects all three, and it's been forgotten. You think we can jerry rig it with this? See if I can get it to pivot and stand properly, and if so, then screw the cross bracing in. Okay, so that's the easel problem solved. Just cleaning it so it's not dirty before it burns. I feel like we should get this burning.
Shadows. I got shadows. Ah, good. I'm gonna try to squirt a little diesel. Watch yourself. Shadows, shadows, shadows.
This has never happened.
Gotta get it burning.
I'm hoping that as soon as the resin catches, it becomes a much different story. This is what you get when you use non-toxic resin. That was my mistake.
I can't believe this. Fucking unreal. Shadow, shadow. This is unreal. Oh, we need more fire.
I think it's gonna start burning well now.
All right, that's it. It's dead.
One of the strangest things that happens every time is I just get really sad after a burn. And I don't know if it's because there's so much to look forward to with the excitement of doing a burn. Like this one didn't turn out as I thought it would be. But that completely set aside, just the act of it being completed just brings this weird sadness. Every time.